Right, morning Hornby apologists. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. This is day one of the Coast to Coast. You find me here in the breakfast room at the Ennerdale Country House Hotel in Cleator. We've been banished to the sort of back room because I've got Belle, the dog, with me, and Belle's actually been very well behaved, which is nice. I'd hoped to film the journey up yesterday, came up on the Pendolino yesterday, thinking sort of Michael Portillo vibes without the red trousers, sort of Portillo for the TikTok generation, but the train was very busy, and I'm already coming across like a bit of a madman having a kind of midlife crisis. It is the feedback that I've had thus far. So we gave filming a miss yesterday, but we got here last night. Mum and Dad are with me.
Dad's not very fast moving anymore.
Well, of course he's not. In terms of the route today, there's been a bit of a change of plan. Originally, I had a very long walk booked in for today. I've now sort of changed up the accommodation plans, and I'm quite glad because it's looking pretty. I mean, it's black out there. It's not cold, but it's going to be wet later. So hopefully we can have a little bit of breakfast, get off and try and get round before the worst of the weather moves in. Ideally be back somewhere sort of in civilization in time to watch the Palace Chelsea match early afternoon.
Sounds as if he's coming.
Yeah, we can hear Dad, we can hear the stick man on his way. So the route today, Mum and Dad are going to drop me over at St Bees Head, which is the start of the walk, just probably about 20 minutes drive from here on the coast, and we'll get cracking. But I'm hoping today will be no more than about sort of 9 or 10 miles. We'll probably hope to get round in about, I don't know, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours. But I'm hoping for an earlier night tonight. We thought we'd discovered a loophole, 2 large Drambuis for £8.30. Seemed too good to be true, and it was. But you know, in retrospect, not the best idea.
Just the clocks on the table we've got.
It's the one that fell off. Right, so we've just ordered 3 Cumberland breakfasts. No beans for Mother.
Yeah.
Fried eggs. I'm having scrambled. Bacon, sausage, mushrooms, hash brown. Let's hope it's better than dinner.
Morning, everybody. Belle's had a lovely run in the extensive grounds that are quite overgrown. Lovely lawn in front of the hotel is well kept, but the rest of it is very long grass and very wet this morning with dew, not rain.
Well, that would have been a good idea, but I'm going to be carrying my stuff. Tempting to see how much it would cost. So here we are then. Mum and Dad have just deposited me at the car park in St Bees. It's a pretty grey day, got to be honest, but the sea's pretty calm, and hopefully relatively short walk today, 9-10 miles or so. Hopefully we will be able to sort of get round before the bad weather closes in. Now there should be some kind of marker marking the 0 mile point, so we'll have a little look for that. So we're off now. Tradition has it you're meant to pick a pebble up off the beach here, so obviously this is the Irish Sea behind me. Pick a pebble up and carry it with you all the way across to the North Sea. Apparently that's been causing a little bit of controversy, so we'll just wait till nobody's watching before I select my pebble. And we're straight into the climbing, so by the looks of it from the guidebook, the first stretch of the walk is going to be to climb up those cliffs and head north from here, so I'll get the legs moving. And here we go, this is the 0 mile marker, St Bees, the start of the coast to coast walk. There's a little bit about Wainwright's original route. So you can see us right over on the left hand side of the picture as I'm looking at it in St Bees, and that's where we're going all the way to Robin Hood's Bay. So you can see we actually go through 3 national parks. Obviously we'll be in the Lake District by this evening, hopefully, all being well. And then once we've crossed over towards the Pennines, we've got the Yorkshire Dales National Park, and then we've got the North Yorkshire Moors as well. Interestingly, the entire coast to coast walk only takes in 2 counties, or 2 modern day counties, so Cumbria and North Yorkshire. A lot of the place names on here have become quite familiar to me as I've been trying to book youth hostels, hotels, etc. Anyway, there's a long way to go, so we better crack on and stop yapping. There we go. It's the first descent completed. We're now at the top of the cliffs overlooking St Bees, and I've got to be honest, that's hard work. The old legs are aching already. We've only about a quarter of an hour in. That doesn't bode well. Well, I'm not going to lie, that was pretty hazardous negotiating that gorge, but I'm on the other side now. There's an absolutely lovely secret bay down there. I'm not sure how you get down to that. There's a couple of people down there though. But look like it's accessible either down that riverbed or otherwise only by boat, I would say. We've now got a very steep climb back up the other side of this river valley. But I think I'm past the most hazardous bit. I'll keep my eyes out near to the edge of those cliffs though. So that's my first sort of landmark on the route. That is the St Bees Lighthouse. It looks like it's still operational. It's set a little bit inland, but it looks like it's still operational. That must be some commute that fella's got to get to work, because as far as I can see there is absolutely no roads at all. And then on the other side of me, we've basically got a 300-foot sheer drop into the Irish Sea. There's actually a fella kayaking down there. There's someone else out in a boat. But yeah, 300 feet sheer drop off that cliff. Thankfully there's now a fence been put up to keep people from getting too near the edge. Right, probably at the highest bit now. We're now on the sort of north head, northern half of St Bees. Absolutely stunning vista out there. Still very grey, but it's actually a really nice day for walking now. I think we'll be turning inland pretty soon though. Right, we're just beginning the descent down into Burkham's Quarry here. I don't think they're blasting today, so that's a relief. Looks like they must be digging out the red sandstone that all the houses seem to be made of that brick around here. Pretty traditional for the area. So we've left the sea behind now and we're heading inland. We're heading towards those mountains. In fact, come tomorrow we'll be up those mountains. But for now I'm trying to find the village of Sandwich, where I'm hoping there may be somewhere for a little pit stop. Well, this is a disaster. We've made it as far as the Dog and Partridge. We was hoping for a little bit of maybe a little bite to eat and a bit of refreshment. And the bloody place is shut. Sunday lunchtime, pub's not open. What is the world coming to? Well, I'm happy to say that things actually turned out all right in the end. Just as I was beginning to despair, the landlady appeared out of nowhere and opened the pub up. So I've now got the entire pub to myself. A beautiful, quiet village of Sandwich. It's 1:10 Sunday lunchtime. I'm the only punter in here, and there's no other pubs for miles and miles around. So we'll just have a quick pit stop here, get my breath back, give the feet a little bit of a rest. One slight downside is there's no cask ale on, but I think on this occasion it's sort of safe to say that beggars really can't be choosers. In terms of this morning, went pretty well. Just done about 5 miles. It's quite demanding terrain. First time I've been out with a full pack on, and that's felt pretty good, albeit I was slightly ruining my decision not to use the Sherpa service when I saw that van dropping luggage off outside the hotel this morning. The fella said that it's about 16 quid a day, so I don't know if that's going to prove to be a bit of a false economy, not taking that option. He also told me that his van was completely full of luggage. There's a lot of people doing the coast to coast this week apparently, but I've barely seen another person on the first 5 miles round from St Bees. I suspect that's because I've set off a little bit later, as it's a fairly short day for me today. In terms of the walk itself, I mean, the weather is grey, but it's perfect conditions for walking really, and the weather's been kind. All the paths are dry, so that is that's a real positive. It was a bit weird walking along the cliff tops. I'm sort of used to Cumbria being more about the Lake District, and there was a much more sort of Cornwall kind of feel to those cliffs this morning. It's pretty hairy in places. I certainly didn't like the sheer drops. The bits where there was no fence and just sort of 300 feet straight down to the sea was pretty sort of vertigo inducing, to be honest. I didn't like that. And there was one really hairy moment where I had to go through a field up close with a load of absolutely massive heifers, and I was convinced they were going to charge me. I certainly wasn't sort of hanging around to film them, and I just had visions of them charging me sort of off the cliff and into the sea. So that was pretty hairy, and I was actually glad once we turned inland at the quarry. From now on it will all be inland until we sort of reach the North Sea on the other side of the country. But yeah, good start. 5 miles, total walk is 200 miles ish, so 40th of the way there. So we'll take that. And there's some more walkers turning up now. In fact, I think I passed them. They look relieved that the pub's open, to be honest. They probably also think I'm a bit of a nutter. So yeah, so 40th of the way in, and I'm not sure, I'll have to look at the Strava, see what the elevation was like today. It felt pretty steep in parts. I was just reading the guidebook, and over the 14 days, or the 13 days in my case, you basically climb an amount that's equivalent to climbing Mount Everest. So I suspect there's going to be a few more hills to come. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy a pint now, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers. Come on, mate, why the long face? Essay's just equalised. Legs are feeling a bit wobbly now. Just climbed quite a steady but long-winded climb through the sheep field back there. This is the first stream that we've had to ford today. I don't think this is going to be worth getting the diving socks out for, but nevertheless I've only got kind of running shoes on, so I don't want to get my feet wet so late in the day. Let's see how we get on. Right, tough going now, and there's a bit of a divergence in the route. We've got the path behind me heading further off uphill, and that seems to be Wainwright's original route, but the guidebook is suggesting just in front of me here there's a disused railway. I've just come through the tunnel there. It's suggesting that following the railway might be, if I can get up there, might be a more attractive route. We're going to give that a go, but I'd say it's the first time today we've had to have a little bit think about actually which direction we're going in. I've just seen a bloody cyclist though on that railway, so yeah, never mind, you can't have it always. Let's try that. Okay, I've now come off the disused railway track, and I'm now confused because predictably there's no signpost anywhere. Obviously need to keep moving east, so out with the Garmin for the first time today, and that looks broadly east in that direction, and there's a pavement, so we're going to go that way. Well, that was a particularly horrible stretch down a very narrow, busy road. I've just completely nettled all my legs jumping out the way of a flipping tractor. But in good news, it is now a really, really pleasant afternoon in Cumbria. Once again, heading towards those mountains of the Lake District in the east, and looking forward to tackling that tomorrow, albeit the forecast is looking a bit grim at the moment. Excellent, so the Kangol factory shop is that way. Maybe a little detour in the morning, pick up a new bucket hat. Let's see. Now then, Warner's here. So quite a tough day in the end, harder than I thought it would be. I'm absolutely covered in mud and I'm stung to bits from all them nettles earlier. I've just had possibly the worst meal since last night. You find me in the very comfortable environs of the Ennerdale Country House Hotel. Lovely gardens, terrible chef. But we've had a bit of tea and we're now just having a drink before we go to bed. The weather is closing in, it's just starting to spit here, and mum tells me that it's already raining over in Skelly, so tomorrow looks a little bit bleak, and there's a lot of miles to do tomorrow, so I'm a bit nervous about that. So it's going to be a very early night for Horners. There's a couple of people in here that I bumped into on the trail, you know, nice people, fellow outdoor people like me, which is it's just nice to have a bit of crack with the various folk, and it's been a good day from that perspective. The one person I've not bumped into yet is One-Eyed Chris, the Cyclops as we call him. He promised he'd be around in the bar tonight. Someone Kenji befriended yesterday who joined us for dinner, bizarrely. So I'll maybe seek him out, maybe have a quick pint with him, and then it's off to bed for me. I might even do a bit of washing actually. I've got some of that travel detergent, and some of the clothes are a bit sweaty. I might take the opportunity of an early night to do a bit of washing. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.